Hey, hey, we're on.
Are we on? Well. We live. Awesome. All right, look. So, good afternoon, guys. This is a late night edition, right? So, this is a late night edition of Hog HQ Live, sponsored to you by, formerly known as Hog Sports. Going to be Hog HQ going forward. What you sipping on, my man? What you got over there?
Coke Zero.
It's a great choice. Thank you. Keep me employed. Look, at the end of the day, so we want to talk to you guys today about this victory over Florida. But before we go into the Florida win, right? You got something for us, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, just quick. So the soccer team played Georgia in the SEC Conference Championship game today. They lost 1-0 on a score on their own goal, which could have gone either way, but that's how it was counted. Um, it's one of those things that sucks. I think they're like 0-7 in the SEC Championship game, but Coach Hale's looking at the long term. He's looking at the national tournament mix, which they'll get their seeding this week. So, that's it is what it is. You want to win it, but at the same time, he's got bigger picture idea of a national title. So they
Gotcha.
won the regular season, and now it's on to the national tournament for them. So
Awesome. So we wish those young ladies well in their journey to the championship. So we're excited about the possibilities to see what they can bring us. So look at this. Let's get into this this football game and this win over Florida.
hmm
Man, look. So as you guys talk, as I told you guys last time, like I'm gonna have an opportunity to go. I went to the game. I tried to go live a little bit and just kind of give you guys an idea of what it was like in Gainesville on the campus. After the game, before the game, all that good stuff. So, so, so before we get into any type of statistics or how the game went, let me kind of break down my experience in Gainesville. So just like I did when I went to LSU and Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge is still a standard when it comes to tailgate. For the tailgating, subpar. It was subpar. They basically had an area that was similar to the Grove, or even like in Fayetteville, where you just own the lot of the campus, and it's a bunch of white tents. That was that area. It wasn't extensive. Wasn't anything out of the ordinary. But I did walk through because I had my bag with me, and they told me, "Sir, your bag is too big." And I was like, "Y'all so damn bougie." So I had to go back and walk damn near half. No, I had to walk a mile. I feel like I had to walk a mile to back to the car, and then go back to the stadium. Well, anyway, in the process of doing that, lady was like, "Hey, would you like?" I said, "I need a paper towel." I had got some on my shoe. So the lady said, "Hey, if you like anything, just help yourself." Well, that's when I helped myself. She said, "We got bacon, egg, and cheese." I had a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and I had to wash it down with some Jack Daniels. So that's compliments to the UF fan base. I appreciate that. So from that aspect, I did like that part of it. People weren't, brash, hollering, gator baiting, things of that nature. So I enjoyed that part of the process. The stadium is nice. It's nice on the inside, but just like Fayetteville, they need some renovations. As far as walking through the concourse, it's a little tight in there. But other than that, that was cool. Concessions, basic. Overall, I would give the stadium experience. I get a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 experience. With that being said, it was great to be in the building to be a part of a victory like this. We can jump into the stats, and then I'll tell you some things that I saw going forward. But for the people that's listening, we actually I did a little video today in the group that kind of told you guys about what I saw on film and like I said in person. It was great to see. Kenny Guyton, shout out to Kenny Guyton. Let me give Mr. Kenny Guyton a round of applause. Kenny Guyton did his thing, guys. I'm talking about 481 total yards. When was the last time we seen that? Last year? 200.
probably.
Yeah, probably 255 yards passing. It's
hmm
8.2 per catch, so we was trying to go downfield as opposed to going east and west with these bubble screens. 226. I got 200. Yeah. So we got 226 on there of rushing yards, 4.8 per rush. Um, 8 of 18 on third down. Still needs improvement there. 32 total points, 7 by the defense. That was a great pickup by Braxton. Great to see the young guys being able to jump in and contribute to the team and make a difference. We finally had a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver. Matter of fact, it was crazy
We
about the rushing. Go ahead.
no, it's we. I mean, we would have had if it wasn't for sacks. Technically, I mean, he had 200-yard rushers.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at ArkansasRazorbacks.com, and on the website, it had Rocket at 103 and it had KJ at 113. But as you said, with the sack, kind of took him down to like 92 or 96
92,
or something like
96. Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So at the end of the day, he had 92 yards with the sack, and then Rocket had 103. So overall, it was 226. But it was a great showing. Kenny Guy drew up a great game plan. Some things I knew you guys saw that I saw. I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. Like we went 14-0. I was talking big boy noise, sipping on Jack Daniels in the stadium, and then all of a sudden I was looking like, what's going on? What's going on? So I got a little nervous. At the same time, I believe what they were doing because I could tell, you could see, you can feel the confidence from the team on the sideline. I mean, they were definitely excited about the game plan. They were definitely all in with the game plan. I was excited to see that. And you know what was crazy? You know one thing that I noticed the most? Isaiah Stain had 5 targets.
Mm-hmm.
He got 5 targets.
Yeah.
That's half the battle. Just give him an opportunity to make a play. So it was crazy to, like I said, with Armstrong, he had 4 for 103, ended up being your leading receiver. But man, it was great to see those things. And once again with his injury,
Mm-hmm.
it was in the end zone where I was seated right in front of the end zone. It instantly, it was kind of like if you watch NFL and you watch Tua get hit last year.
Mm-hmm.
He instantly froze up. I don't know if they showed that on TV, but he instantly froze. His arm froze up by his side,
Yeah.
and everybody just kind of came down to a calm about that.
Yeah, you could tell because like I mean, more or less had the ball, and then there was no like trying to gain control of the ball because he had just stiffened up.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
slight, but it was enough. So
Absolutely.
especially when you saw there was the two Arkansas his teammates standing, and one of them was standing directly over him, and
Mm-hmm.
another one kind of pushed him like get off of him, and started waving for somebody to come over because they could see that he was, it's kind of like Traylon last week. I mean, when he went down, head hit the turf. I mean, he kind of just almost immediately just he just stiffened, tightened up, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's in concussion protocol. But Armstrong says that he's doing good, so that's all we hope for.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Like I said, I had it right in front of me in the end zone. And we wish him well in his recovery. It was interesting, like I said, to be right there to see him come back out of the locker room with it. They took his helmet, and right
Mm-hmm.
then I instantly text you guys like, "Hey, they took his helmet. He's done for the day." But he
Yep.
looked at his family in the stands, who was behind me, and gave him the thumbs up sign. So that at least let us know that hey, he's in a good situation. He's just done for the day. So that was good to see in regards to that. Um, Ty Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I must have been outside at that point. Tell me about Ty
So
Washington.
it was the first drive, I believe it was the first drive in the first quarter. He was going to the sideline for reception, and when he hit, he just kind of turned over himself and then didn't get up. So he was kind of tugging at his shoulder area, and they looked at him for a couple minutes, took him further back. After the game, Pittman said that he's likely out for the season. And then more talk that heard a little bit today. I haven't heard Pittman say it, but I've heard that it's either broken clavicle, like we saw with Lucas,
Hmm.
same exact, or was a dislocated shoulder. So either way, it's looking to be he's done for the last 3 games.
Yeah, part of my experience just with the game, I got a chance to meet some of the players' parents. That was interesting. Like I said, me and Chris Paul's
Mm-hmm.
father. So Chris Paul Sr. We have been going back and forth on Twitter or X, and just say, hey, we're gonna link up this time. We go to the game. So I got a chance to talk to him in the stands, man. Ended up meeting Ty Washington's dad, and just like he was saying, like, yeah, we got to get him back. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. He's doing okay. But at the same time, like for precautionary reasons, they're gonna go ahead and save him and shut him down for the season. Got a chance to meet Singletary. Singleton,
Singleton,
the quarterback. I looked, I
Malachi.
was like, yeah. So I looked at her shirt and said, Singleton. I was like, hey, you guys came from Georgia too? It's like, yeah. She's like, that's my son. I said, okay, got you. So I got a chance to talk to her and his aunt. Um, Conversation was, so why your son ain't playing? Man, I had to ask these questions. I'm like, you get a chance to meet these people. You want to know. So I got a chance. I was like, so what are they saying about your son playing? She said she didn't say any names, but she said a coach told him, "Hey man, I wish you could play. I wish we could play you." He said, "Hell, you can play me." So who knows if we're able to see him in any type of capacity going forward for these last couple of games? You know, when those guys still play with these amount of games left, they still can maintain their red shirt status. So that's a possibility. Don't tell nobody I said that because I don't know for sure they're gonna run with it, but it's a possibility. It's an option. And with yesterday's victory, who knows what that looks like? But I also told her if the offensive line keeps looking like it's looking, you also need to play no damn way. You might as well save him and let him make some decisions about life and see if he wants to be here. But hey, at the end of the day, he needs to be healthy. So that was interesting, and that was great to talk to those parents about those things. My guy, my guy. Let me talk about my one guy before I get to my other guy. Before I continue, I forgot, guys. You see us on two amigos. We're missing an amigo today. My main man, Matthew. We call him Matt. I call him Matthew. He's under the weather, right? And I feel like Adam got him sick via the internet.
Yeah, that's how they
that's
trans. That's how it goes these days.
yeah, that's the conversation we had in the group text. But he's not. He's under the weather right now. He won't be with us tonight. We do plan on possibly coming back on Tuesday because we got some other sports going on this week. So we jump on Tuesday. He'll be able to be back with us. He also told us to tell you guys he'll have some information in regards to injuries and things of that nature that he's going to be able to share with us on Tuesday. So look forward to Tuesday show as well. And make sure you look in the feature section within the group where you can see what time we're going to be on to have those conversations and to continue going into Auburn and looking at some other sports during the week. We got basketball this week too.
Oh yeah.
But my other guy, my friends called me like, "Hey man, did you see your boy live? Since you at the stadium, did you see your boy Hud Island give up the touchdown?" I said, "Hey, y'all stay off of Hud Island, man. Y'all stay
Hey,
off my
what
man."
I will say though, I mean, on that one, I text you when we were in our group chat. I mean, your other boy. Well, he's not your boy because you've been calling him out since before the season. But Jaden was in on that also.
Yeah,
So
I keep my eye on Mister Number Eight. I keep my eye
yeah.
on him just so I can be like number eight again. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was a collaborative effort, man. It was a collaborative effort. I really, one thing that I was interested in that I didn't see.
Hmm.
Did Landon Jackson just fall off the face of the earth because Mel
So
Kiper put him up that high?
that's what I was wondering during the game because I saw a couple times he blew by. They basically drove too far in. They blew past him on the running back or whoever, and so I don't know if it was just the week off or what it was, but I was looking for him like all game. I was just waiting for that moment, to come up with that sack or something, and it didn't happen. So I don't know
Yeah.
what was going on there, but you hope not. I mean, you get up there on Mel Kiper's board and number one at
Mm-hmm.
your position. I mean, you got some tall shoes to fill.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking at a
Yeah.
question here. Does a strong finish guarantee anything at this point?
Nope.
No, I don't think nothing is guaranteed. I think the only thing that may be guaranteed is momentum, energy, effort. I think those are things that you can control. But as far as guarantee, as far as win loss, I don't think it's guaranteed at all. I think they just keep working hard, keep implementing things that work. Look at the film and see what's going to be, what plays they can put out against that particular defense when it comes to Auburn. Teresa said, looks like a clavicle, talking about Ty's injury. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And Teresa, I know you said you wasn't feeling good either. I was looking forward to seeing you at the game because y'all know Teresa pull up at the games now. She gonna pull up at the game, and she gonna be some type of celebrity or some type of legendary racerback and take a picture. So I was hoping to see Teresa. I hate that I didn't get a chance to see her, but that's it. Thoughts on Hudson Clark? Who I don't. And this person, this says Facebook user. There's somebody messing with me. I'm telling you. Y'all know her, Clark.
Mm.
Y'all
Curtis
know her.
Donaldson. It's Curtis Donaldson in the group.
Okay, so Curtis, like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like that guy is serviceable at the safety position. We know good and doggone well, and I said this at the beginning of the season, he doesn't have the speed to compete with SEC receivers. He just don't, man to man, he just don't. But I feel like his intelligence helps him in the safety department, being able to back up, see everything underneath, and make a play on the ball. Hey, guys have good games, guys have bad games. I'm not
Mm.
making excuses for the man. Hell, it is what it is. He had a week off practice. He's seen the film, so you know what type of adjustments he should have made going forward. But that's that on that. But my other guy, because I told you I was getting a season. It's two white dudes. I'm going with the white dude. Killer Cam Little, man. Killer Cam Little. He missed the one in the third quarter, but man, other than that, that guy was on.
If y'all want to see DP's sideline seats, I've got one of Cam Little's kicks on here, so we'll play. This is where VIPs get seated at.
Oh, you got it? Let's see. See what happened when you try to be messy? It don't damn work. It's called technical difficulty.
What?
It didn't work. I thought you was gonna pull up the video.
It played on my end.
Oh, well, I didn't see it on my end. Maybe the people saw it.
It played on my stream that I have pulled up on my phone too.
Okay, well, as long as the people saw it, that's all that matters. Anyway, so
they'll let us know if it didn't. I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, now that you say that, I'm glad you brought that up. It plays on the live. Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Well,
and once again, we hope you get well soon, sir. Next time you see your friend on the screen, make sure you have a mask on, sir. He's giving people COVID-like symptoms on the internet. That's some vicious shit. All right, Killer Cam. Cam Little is the offensive MVP. Teresa, I absolutely agree with you. At the end of the day, he's a hell of a guy, man. I feel like what he brings to the table from a special team standpoint, that brings validity to having a special teams coach. Coach Fountain, and like I say, Max being able to do his thing, Max Fletcher being able to do his thing. Seeing Matt Fletcher along, I don't know his statistics, how tall he is. This dude is a beanpole. He is tall and lanky. But these guys making it happen. He only had 3 punts along with 53. And he had 1 touchback. So at the
He
end
is
of the day,
6'5".
yeah, he looked every bit of 6'5". He looked like a damn green, what's that, string bean pole? Yeah, he looked like a string bean. That dude is lanky. So to see those guys come out after halftime and do their little stretching and all those type things, get warmed up, I said, damn, this dude is tall. How tall is he? But anyhow, so it was interesting to see that. I wish that the defensive line would have gotten more pressure because the scheme that the offense had set up for Florida was snap the ball, make one read, get the ball out your hand. So when we were able to react, the ball was already out of this man's hand. So the defensive line really didn't have the type of time to get long pressures on him. And when they had deep throws, they still got rid of it fairly in a decent time. So that was a good game plan by that offensive setup. It was some dudes in the stands talking trash. I'm assuming they were parents or relatives of one of the players from Florida because they had on Florida gear. But they was talking trash, and I was talking trash with them. And the dude said, "Man, he gonna miss this kick." I said, "He don't miss. He don't
Yeah, he
miss."
missed.
And then he missed it. I was like,
Well, the same thing with the announcers, which is why I made the comment. Announcers need to stop talking about perfection and being automatic when kickers go to kick because
it's almost like a jinx.
They did it once again, and then Cam's other miss of the season. The announcers did the same thing, and I'm like, y'all have got to stop doing this.
They work for Vegas. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the refs are trying to work for Vegas because, I mean, I don't know from the TV perspective. Obviously, on some of that stuff, we had the better viewpoint. But on the 4th and 1 that they gave Florida forward progress, but even though their running back was stopped, he was stood up. It should have been called dead. They made a line pushed him over. They gave him the first down, but then a play or two later was when we hit the ball out, and they fumbled it, and the refs immediately blew the whistle when we went for the punch, and it was like, his forward progress was stopped, and I'm like, the hell it was.
Right.
Like, you're going to call one, but you didn't call. It just didn't make any sense.
And it was crazy at the end of the game when we finally won and went 0. They booed the hell out the refs on their way to the tunnel. They booed the hell out of them. tapping in real quick. So I don't know what the perspective was on TV, but in the fourth quarter, when it was 8 seconds left, they called a timeout. They had the final timeout. And shout out to Coach Pitt with game management. I don't know if that was Kenny got, but the game management and timeouts this week, it looked good. I like that.
I think
Um,
after catching heat after what was it, the LSU game on burning the timeouts like we did. I mean,
back to back to back. It was
you've seen it like progressively. You're a lot more conserving of their timeouts as the
right.
season's gone on.
So it was 8 seconds left, and I remember this like it was yesterday because it was. Either way,
Wow, wow, wow.
so 8 seconds left. So per what we were looking at in the stands, the conversation was, wait a minute. That means it should be the 10-second runoff, which means it should have went to zero, and then we should automatically went to overtime. The fact that they let them kick that freaking ball and they missed it, I said the football guys don't like ugly, and that's what y'all ass get. There's no way in hell. I said every time we come down here, y'all try to cheat us, and it's crazy that we keep going to games we're playing Florida, which makes no sense to me.
So their explanation on air was because the ref was standing over the ball and they were making the substitute. Since the clock hadn't started yet, it was why there wasn't a 10-second runoff.
Gotcha.
Was their
Now,
explanation, but at the same time, there was still question around the substitution. We should have had it should have been running.
yeah, so we were in the stands looking. I was like, wait a minute. So if the ball stopped or he went out of bounds in the previous play, why is the play clock still going? The play clock still went until it went a full cycle and then reset. And we was looking like, wait a minute, it's no way they're gonna let these guys kick this field goal
Mm.
and win the game. I'm like, there is no way. It's gonna be trouble if they do that. So it worked out in our favor in that sense in regards to the guy missing the kick. So I felt like in overtime we always got a chance in overtime. It's Arkansas. That's
Yeah.
what we do. So I was excited to see that part of the game.
It's one of those, like, going back to does the win guarantee, or what was it? Are there any guarantees? I look at it as this is a game by game situation.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's far fetched. I know people don't want to believe it, but bowl game is still on the table.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. I don't think that until we're not bowl eligible, if that happens, that you're going to see players like, we'll say, the freshmen with those four. I don't really see, like, I don't think they're going to divert from the guys that have been playing all season
Yeah,
until the game or until the bowl's out of reach. Coach Guyton's playing for a job,
absolutely.
for promotion rather.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot for him to prove. And I think, early on in the game, again, seeing it from TV, there was, after we went up 14 and then after Florida, scored 14 back, you started to see the frustration during that period on KJ's face that we had seen most of the season. So it
Gotcha.
was one of those, I was in the, oh crap, here we go again kind of mindset. But the offense especially, but the team fought back.
Absolutely.
They didn't lay down. So I think that showed, you saw a confidence connection between the play calling, KJ, Guyton, and then especially you saw that after the victory with them hugging it out right after the game. I mean, any other game, if that same thing had happened and Enos was still here, you wouldn't
It's
have
no
seen
way.
it. You wouldn't
Hell
have seen
no.
it.
He would have had the stoic face with them damn glasses on, and KJ would have been somewhere in the corner talking to Pitt. But to see that clip online, like I said, I've seen it on social media.
Yeah.
But the fact that you seen Kenny Guy and KJ Jefferson hug it out, man, that was dope.
Mhm.
You could see the intensity, the passion behind that. That was a hell of a game plan he called. To see Kenny Guy go in the locker room and take his shirt off,
Pulling a
man,
muss.
man, pulling the bus, like I said, but it just energized the whole team, man. So that was dope to see. It was definitely great to see life blown into the team and the team respond. So that was definitely great.
Guess it's the
Um,
only time I'll like a former Ohio State quarterback. He was a former Ohio State quarterback.
yeah, I know. Why are you like this? Why you can't let stuff go, man?
Because I don't like
You,
to.
what was you talking about the other day? I was like, hey man, let it go. You talking about somebody who used to be a hog and they wasn't a hog. I was like, hey man, just let it go. I had to put the else on the screen, like,
There's
let it
there's
go.
there's several of those.
No,
but
what's my guy?
I don't publicly talk bad about him like a lot of folks do.
Got you. What's my guy name that went to OU for us last year? The receiver,
Mike
Woods.
Woods.
Yeah, and somebody said he was on the sideline. He doesn't deserve to be on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. But see, I was like, hey, if he wants to suit up for that game, let him.
Exactly. Um, One of the things that I also saw in the game, like I said, there's a little video on there, and I also post a video in the group where up close you can see the guys and the camaraderie after the win. They was doing all that good stuff and to the fans, and man, it was just great to see those guys smile again, man. It's been so long to see us win, and to be able to win in Florida. That was our first win in Gainesville.
Ever.
That was major. It was so many things that happened, and I meant to save some stuff because I went live, but I don't think people really understand. And I'm a talk about some things that was on the page in the comment section, and then go into some things that I saw. So I seen somebody say, "Yeah, we won the game. That's great. We still got a losing record. We still two and whatever. I mean three and whatever, and such and such needs to go." I get the frustration. I'm not saying you wrong. It was something different about that victory. The way we were high fiving in the stands, it was like you were excited, like we won. Like any fan will be when you win any game, but it was like it's been so long since we was able to celebrate a victory. So that was huge. Then you put on top of it, as you say, Kenny Guyton is coaching for a job. Then on top of that, we win in Gainesville. And I thought about this is for Tim Tebow still in the damn Heisman. This is for the referee in that call that cost us a potential SEC championship. It was so much that was put into it. And I say all that to say this. Once I got through like filming the players down on the field, celebrating and all that good stuff, I get ready to walk out the stadium, walking up the stairs, because I was towards the bottom where the field is at. Anyway, so I'm walking up towards the entryway, and I seen this man, and he was with his dad, and he was on the phone. It was a grown man crying with Arkansas gear on. He was that excited. Like to see a grown man cry because you win a regular season game, that's how much it meant to some people. Other people, I get it. But it meant so much to people who have been waiting to get a victory for so long. And in the capacity in which we won it, it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It was so huge. Walking out of the stadium, I can also post was all filing out, and all of a sudden you heard it. Woo! Man, look, let me tell you, we weren't that deep in there as far as numbers. They say it was 89,000 in the building. I couldn't tell. Like I said, you can hear a rat piss on cotton. That's how quiet it was. The people didn't have nothing to say. It wasn't no smack talking. They were so quiet walking out, man. They had their heads down. I went down to the strip where their Dixon Street area will be, which is right. You can walk from campus like it's legit, like right there. Like that's how close it is. Um, they were quiet. I went live. I'm like, nobody's saying anything. Nobody's
Yeah,
yelling.
it
It was
was
so
quiet.
quiet. It was hella quiet. Like you'd be like, "Hey man, I don't think there's that many people there." I'm like, "No, I'm looking at all these damn people. They just quiet because they can't believe they're gonna lose after they just got drove by Georgia the week before." So it was interesting. Somebody made a comment I seen about firing coaches. I think Terrell, what's his last name? Is it Reed? He's in
Dino.
the group. I don't know. It's Terrell, but he makes a lot of comments. But he
That's
said something.
Dino. We go back
Okay.
since junior high.
Oh, just
Mm.
Dino. All right. So Dino made the comment, and he basically did a screenshot of was that Florida, some other school, and they were talking all this negative talk in their little chat.
Yeah.
And he said, Saints, yeah, said different team, same, feel like the same fans. Every team feels that way, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the SEC. I mean, LSU said to me, to some of the fans, like, hey, if we have a subpar season, we're going to win 8 games, we're ready to fire the coach. That's their standard, right? So I just feel like we're at the point where 8, 9 wins is a big thing to us when we go to a decent bowl. But hopefully we can get to the point where 10 wins is a standard and we expect to compete for national championships on a year-to-year basis. Hopefully we get there. Um, and I also watched a little bit of Clemson the other night when they beat Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you have to be a fan of Sweeney personally, and all his political beliefs and all the things he believed in, not believing in NIL, etc. But to listen to his journey on how he get to where he was at, the man has never been a coordinator. He was a walk-on in football at Alabama, and he was an interim coach and was able to maintain the job. And the man has won what, two national championships?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're that patient of a people, but it's I think it's possible. If you got the right person for the right situation, the right school, I think it's possible to make something happen. So who knows?
And I'm just gonna say, like, so we fired Enos.
Hmm.
We got 3 games left. There's no more coach that's going to be fired before the end of the year. So I feel like we could stop a lot of that until, save it for the postseason or off season. Coach Kennedy's not going to go anywhere these last 3 games. It's just a fact of life. If he was going to go, he would have gone out when Enos went out. So let me see.
I'm looking at Logan real quick. Logan had a hell of a comment in the group before, but in here he says, "We've had this talent all year long. Napier's has shown his teams are not consistent. Arkansas needs something to build on next year.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely." Last topic, Coach Kennedy, WTF?
That's what he's not going anywhere. I
Mm,
mean, honestly, so KJ got sacked 5 times.
mm-hmm,
Um, I will say though, having Rocket back helped tremendously because you saw Rocket picking up blocks. You saw him
mm-hmm.
picking up corner blitzes that we hadn't seen from the others.
Yep.
Um, plus he added 100 yards. When I saw him break his 19-yard run, I was like, all right, he's back. He's here. Saw him throw some blocks. But
Mm-hmm.
when Chamblee stood straight up and let the defender go around him and sack KJ, kick him out of the game right then and there. I mean,
Yeah.
it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. That's what I call Mr. Reach. Because every time I turn
Yeah.
around, he reaching because somebody already blew past his ass. Facebook user says Mizzou game could be huge if we take care of business this week and next. Thoughts on Crutchfield? Glad you asked that question.
I think Crutchfield, him departing or decommitting, was possibly, just in my book, I don't know
Hmm.
anything, premature. He does it before the game, and then Arkansas comes out and shows what they can do, what Guyton could do, what this offense could do.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a little bit premature, but there's signs pointing to Mizzou. There's signs pointing to Ole Miss. So who knows?
Yeah. So KG could save this recruiting class if we keep winning by
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hart. I absolutely agree with that one. The fact that kindergarten just really,
He put
it
up
made me think.
481 yards on the 34th ranked defense in the nation. It wasn't some 7,500 ranked. I mean, they put up 481 yards.
Right. How many are we expecting to lose? I'm assuming you talking about recruiting. I'm assuming you're talking about recruiting this Facebook user because we don't have your name on here. But how many are we expecting to lose? I'm assuming you're talking about recruits. Who knows? And at this point, I'm at the point. I'm usually the guy who's always optimistic. We got this guy, and then somebody turns around and say, "Well, just call me when he signs the paperwork or when he sends the fax in." So at this point, we don't know. In some of those instances, some of those guys maybe don't need to be on the roster. We lost. What's his name? Theo. What was the guy? The wide receiver we lost. He ended up committing to another school, and then he ended up getting arrested this year.
This year?
Yeah,
Oh, um, I know who you're talking about. I don't know. I can't think of his name. Somebody in the
that's
comments will help us out. But
right.
I
And
know I
then
know exactly who you're talking about.
yeah, and it was like, well, good thing he didn't come to Arkansas. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's okay that somebody doesn't fully come through. It maybe opens the door for somebody else,
Well, I mean,
and
I
maybe
just look back when when Mizzou got DGB Dorial Green Beckham,
yep,
and then
I remember
he
that.
started getting arrests. He started getting issues at school. I mean, he played in the NFL for a few years, but he wasn't what they what it had planned out to be. And I know it came down to Mizzou and Arkansas on that one.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
know everybody's up in arms or was with Ronnie Wingo's brother Ryan committing to Mizzou. So
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought he would commit to Texas A&M if anybody.
so
So I guess the bag wasn't big enough. I don't know what Mizzou got going on. Kudos to them. At the end of the day, I need Arkansas to do what they
well,
got to do.
I mean, one thing that since Wingo, lives in Missouri, that he can when he signs this December for his NLI's letter of intent in the state of Missouri, you can start making NIL money while you're
Hmm.
still in high school after you sign the financial agreements.
Right.
If you're an in-state player, so I mean, you could be looking at it from that aspect. I mean, they've got a decent team, 7-2 now, seven whatever they are, 7 wins, committed when they were 5-0, I think it was.
Hmm.
So it's one of those that timing was right for them. They played this season well.
Good old Arkansas. We just can't. We just so behind.
The one I would question about losing from this bunch would have to be, I mean, Crutchfield's cousin Charlie Collins.
You did
Just be,
ask that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of those. You just being cousins committing to go here, you just kind of feel like he would probably follow in the decommitment, but you never know.
Yeah, but let's be clear. When that whole situation between Pine Bluff High and Mills happened,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was like, "Well, hey, if he doesn't watch himself, he's going to get himself in trouble coming to college." Talking about
Mm-hmm.
the whole players fight on the field. So who knows? Sometimes God sees it fit to where somebody needs to go to a different place because it's the best situation for them at the time. Maybe not coming to Arkansas. Maybe the move it may open the door for someone else. Who knows? I
And
just I
this
just have faith
person's
that we can
right.
get somebody.
He
Hey, Tom.
committed to Texas. I misspoke. The crystal ball was on Mizzou, and then he committed to Texas. That is my fault. I misspoke.
Okay, gotcha. See, well, you know what's great about that? People make mistakes, and when you find out you're wrong, you just correct yourself. See
Yeah.
how easy that was? We're
And we just
adults
move
here.
on from it.
Just move the hell on, all right? So who do y'all think will come back because of the COVID year?
So
Mm,
there is, which I posted on somebody asked the question in the group today about seniors coming back. And I went
uh-huh.
through the list. There is a handful. Um, we have a handful that cannot come back. They've used their COVID years. I think out of the transfers in of the seniors, Walcott was like the only. No, I think Walcott used his year. We've got a handful of guys that can come back. Um,
Uh-huh.
these are guys that are seniors or redshirt seniors that can come back. We're not saying they are. There's no juniors in this mix. These are just seniors. So KJ, Andrew Armstrong, Malik Chavis, Tareen Carter, Booker, Broden, Clark, Gregory, McLaughlin, Tesla, Sherman, Crawford, Stewart, Limmer, Latham, Miller, Rose. So there's a handful of guys that could come back because of
Hold on.
COVID years or yeah.
One second. I bet you won't read the list again. But before he reads that list, I bet anybody that's watching, drop in the comments. Who do you want to see come back? He gonna read the list again. Who would you like to see come back? And KJ is not an option. Anybody besides
Okay.
KJ,
You're
right?
gonna roll. You're gonna
Anybody?
roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
run it back. So if you
All
watching
right.
right now, put in the comments who you would like to see come back.
All right. So we're taking KJ out of the mix.
Right?
All right. So we got Armstrong,
Uh-huh.
Chavis, Carter,
Okay.
Booker, Broden, Clark, Gregory, Snelling, McLaughlin, Tesla, Sherman, Crawford, Stewart, Limmer, Latham, Miller, and Rose. And there's a handful of those guys that have hardly seen the film or field, but they're seniors. So I was just going down the roster.
So wait a minute. You said Latham and Lemur?
Yeah.
Yeah, they both can get the hell out. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on both of them. They did what they had to do while they was here. We appreciate their service. We need to upgrade the offensive line. Period. If you're gonna keep the coach, you gotta upgrade the offensive line. You can't keep the coach and keep the same level of talent on the offensive line. It's not gonna freaking work. You're setting yourself for disaster. I would like to see Nudie come back. I would like to see Nudie come back. I understand if he tests NFL waters. I think he's a guy that tests well. A lot of people talk about Nudie and speak about his intelligence and how he's a film guy. So I'm sure those type of things. I'm sure he's a test well guy. And like I said, his football IQ is high. I think he have a good opportunity to make his rounds with some teams and get some interviews. I would like to see. I'm good on these receivers. I
I
like them.
mean, I like them, but they
I
just
like them.
the separation, the speed, to this, to that. I mean, it didn't come through like we thought it would, like it was led to believe it would.
Hmm.
I think that the younger guys that we've had coming in, they're already there, whatever. I mean, there's other playmakers back there, so let them get up there and let them start shining, showing out if they can.
Chavis been playing for what, 9 years?
Feels like it.
Chavis got more ability than Bo Nix. He's been playing forever.
How many
Playing
touch
forever.
how many touchdowns is he giving up?
Yeah, we're not gonna get on that. I think the new secondary coaches seen that on film and make the proper adjustments, which is probably why my guy is on the field.
Well, and that's one thing to think. So we talk so much
Hmm.
positivity about our defensive staff, especially Woodson and Williams.
Hmm.
We've got nothing but praise. So yeah, I mean, like I just said, what I said about Chavis, but it's one of those things. These guys know what they're doing. We praise
Hmm.
them so much, but then I say we, not necessarily you or me, but so many folks call out Hudson Clark game after game. Like, he's on the field because for a reason. These guys see something in him to keep putting him on the field.
You know what? We spoken this before.
Mm-hmm.
We know why. We know why. We won't keep beating it into the ground, but we understand why. Some of the comments. Tesla Armstrong Booker. Booker. I knew who he was when he committed, when he transferred from Maryland. I ain't seen him on the field. I ain't seen him make those splash plays. Maybe he's getting double teamed and opening up other guys. I don't know, but I would like to see him. I would also like to see Carter. I would like to see Torian Carter have another year, being healthy. Seen him make some plays this year, so it was interesting to say. But I tell you what, Teresa just be on it. Somebody said Armstrong, Broden, and Nudie. I want to upgrade the wide receiver core. I definitely do. Especially if kindergarten takes a job. The former wide receiver coach going into being offense coordinator, you know exactly what you need. And now you get to recruit your guys as the OC. Because the OC is the one that says, hey, that's the same reason why Walker White is going to another school. Right? Because Browse and Enos, two different thought processes and who they want to bring in. If you the OC, you go after quarterbacks you want. You go out, you tell the wide receiver this type of speed or this type of size I need on the field. And who knows? Let's just say, I'm just thinking forward. If Kenny Guyton takes his job as OC, do we go after the kid in Fayetteville? That's getting all this. This man got 40 touchdowns, like
The
two,
one
three
that's
interceptions.
committed to
Man,
Minnesota.
man, look, I'm just saying. Like when Houston Nutt speaks, I listen. So when he said he's a guy, and the winds were whipping at this amount of miles per hour, he still was whipping through the wind. Maybe he's a guy. Who knows if he fits the scheme, depending on who the OCB is at the end of the day.
I just look at it like, all right, so say it was Guyton, we'll just play it like it,
Hmm.
um, and then I'm going to play it like KJ doesn't come back. So
Okay.
then you've got Criswell and Singleton.
All right.
So all signs, unless something crazy, or I'm not going to say crazy because we don't know, but it would be Criswell would be the starter just because he was the number 2 this year.
Okay.
So that puts you at 2024. Then you got 2025. I mean,
Okay. I know where you're going with this.
who I'm going to. It's
Kane Archer a bust for 2026. Period.
I know.
That's what we
So
are. Yeah.
that's why I'm just kind of looking at they're probably, we've got Malachi, we've got Criswell, and a couple more years. Yeah, Kane
Hmm.
Archer coming through. I mean, we're just not in that time anymore that you sit a guy for 2 to 3 years and then he plays for a year or two. I mean, so it's one of I bringing in Fayetteville's quarterback. I just feel like he would transfer out in a year.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, as I look at it, somewhat similar to what you say, whoever it is just gonna hold the clipboard for a year or two. Get you a GA job or transfer out and get opportunity to play. Whatever it is you do, whatever makes you happy. Going back to these comments, so I get Logan. Logan, you my guy. You something else. So just talking about two offensive linemen. I said Lemur and what's the other guy name?
Huh?
Latham. He
Like,
said take their starting position on the offensive line, but keep him for depth.
mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at that because they got experience. Um, But Teresa is on point, just like me. Lehman Latham, not so much. Chavis either. Remember when they were coming from lower level competition, talking about the receivers? I'm
Receivers.
sure. How
Hmm.
does Clark keep playing DB? Because the coaches know what the hell they doing and you don't. It's
Well, I
real
mean,
simple.
what I don't know about y'all, but Clark, but he's a better spy corner than anything, which is true.
Yeah, he's a zone guy. That's how he got on the map. The 3 interceptions against Ole Miss. He plays spy. I would never put Clark man to man with anybody to run a damn 9 route.
No.
I never. I know better than that. I like the guy, but I know damn well he don't have the speed to keep up with some of these dudes. So it is what it is when it comes to that. I don't know what y'all know about Clark, but he's a better spot. Yeah. Logan know what he's talking about, man. Look,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, and let me also be clear. Let me not speak strictly on HUD. Who I'm looking at the camera. Who else you got? Who who else you got? Who on the depth chart that you haven't seen yet that's not playing? Who you got? You went and got Batman Curl. You got Lawrence Richardson. Who
Teresa
you
got
got?
you.
Yeah, you got Ken Hamlin out there that's sitting on the bench. Who you got? So let's just be clear. I think if nothing else, if you don't think he's that guy, I definitely don't think he's a corner. I think he's better suited at safety. They're playing who they're playing because that's the best they have on their roster. Until you recruit better talent, that's what you're working with. So I would definitely like them I would definitely like them to recruit better talent. I think Singletary it has promise. I definitely like Braxton. We knew who Braxton was coming into it. I'm glad to see him being a young guy getting an opportunity to play. The whole situation with Nudie may be a blessing in disguise. It may be a blessing in disguise because I feel like Nudie is a guy. If he decided to go the NFL route, he still had an opportunity to get on somebody's roster. But to see Braxton as a true freshman get on the field early and contribute and make plays, that's big. That's huge. You need somebody that's going to be at corner for 3 years and give him opportunities to shine. So I like that. I know y'all have spoke on it, but getting rid of Pittman would hurt us. Absolutely. Arkansas. He did right for the defense. Kenny G, I think, has a good shot judging off one game. Hogs needs tempo offense, all in my opinion. I agree with that as well. I agree with that as well. Hold on. Teresa, stop. Can you stop? Hudson Clark is no Kennedy. We know that, ma'am. We know that, ma'am. Um, but he could be Jason Sehorn 2.0. How about that? Um, but no, I definitely agree. The tempo offense that played dividends this week. That it was definitely
Hmm.
great to see them again. It left the defense not being able to get into a rhythm and set up and kind of just dive down on guys. I definitely like what I saw from the tempo offense. We definitely need that. That's a KJ thing. I think it keeps the momentum going and keeps the offense blood pumping to keep them being successful. Why are you looking at me like that? What I do?
All I did was look at you.
Oh, okay.
Why
Don't
are
look
you
at me
acting
like that.
guilty?
Hey man, I'm guilty of loving the Hogs and Hudson Clark. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? That's what I'm
See,
on.
they moved Clark after he got burnt 2 or 4 times. Why put him in the spot to begin with? There's several times that we see Clark in the picture, and whether somebody might catch a pass, somebody catch whatever it may be, and he was actually not the person that got beat.
Mm, interesting.
He's the one that shows up, on camera because somebody else got beat somewhere else because he kind of plays that spy
Mm,
position that Logan was talking about.
interesting. I put it to you like this. Let's be clear. I think as fans of this team, we're all passionate about the Hogs. We all want them to win. I think a lot of times we do a lot of emotional responses. I'm a guy who will watch the game and just I rewind it back. Okay, who got beat? Okay, so this dude got beat, but this guy had effort and want to, so he kept running. And he was the last jersey I seen in the frame. It must have been his fault. No, he lost his assignment. He just kept running because he didn't want to just give up on the play. Sometimes that happens. Just like I
Mm.
talked about with the offensive line and then KJ. Is it the offensive line? Is KJ holding the ball too long? Does he not trust the receivers? Why does he wait till they get wide open and throw it to him? It's a whole lot that goes into it once you start breaking it down and slowing down the game.
Which we
Initially,
will do a little bit more of Tuesday night when we got Matt on here.
Absolutely. So once again, we'll get with Matt. And Matt will have some news as far as injuries are concerned. Basketball game, Alcorn State. What day is that?
Monday,
Monday. Okay.
7 o'clock, ESPN app. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, the women play Louisiana Monroe. It's on the ESPN app also. Both of them play on Friday, so there's plenty of basketball this week.
All right. So we're excited about basketball. Let's see if anybody wants to fire Muss by game two. I'm sure somebody will be mad because Devo doesn't score 50 points, but I'm sure they'll
If
get over this
if
well.
Arkansas doesn't score 100, then it's over with.
Somebody got to get fired. All right. So we get at the time, guys. We're about to go ahead and leave. Kind sir, do you have anything you need to add before we dip out of here?
Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
I'm gonna
Told
tell
you.
y'all the inside joke. Don't kill my vibe. We was talking about, hey, we got the win. We don't need any negative comments this week in regard to football. He said, I'm gonna play "Don't Kill My Vibe" by Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
Shout out to. See, we talking about Lamar. Shout out to Lamar Jackson.
Hey yo, didn't throw a
Yeah,
touchdown and they won 37-3.
yeah. And the fact that the Steelers won on Thursday, I was excited. I was able to sit back today and just watch everybody struggle win games. And CJ Stroud is a dude. You hear me?
500 yards almost. Oh, good. If you
Crazy.
the guy I was playing today in fantasy football had Stroud on his bench, which most people would, but he
Right.
was on his bench and put up like 50 something points in fantasy, and I was just like,
That
one of
man
those
went off today.
things.
He
Oh
went
yeah.
off today. Shout out to Joshua Dobbs. The man just
Hey,
just got hired with the Vikings 4 days ago and came into Atlanta and beat the Falcons. I was like,
yeah, I saw
Jesus.
like post game he hadn't taken any reps with the team really. I mean, didn't know receivers' full names, like just a handful of just. I mean, he just walked in, suited up, and ended up throwing the game-winning touchdown.
Hey, I know because with Arkansas, a lot of teams, people who do like pro football, they associate with the Cowboys.
Y'all trash.
Hey, I'm sorry. The Cowboys gonna cowboy. Sometimes the racebacks don't race back. But the Falcons are, I mean, not the Falcons, but the Eagles are for real. I mean, I know it's a division game, but the Eagles are for real. Let's be clear. I mean, I feel like if the Cowboys play Philly, now they already played them once. If they play them, if they got to see them in the playoffs, they may be better by then. I don't know what you guys need, but a lot of my friends and family are Cowboys fans, so we stay talking trash and going back and forth.
Well, I
Anyhow,
mean,
guys, go ahead.
if it wasn't their year every year, I don't think we would talk about them so much.
They going to the Chili Bowl this year though, with crackers and cheese,
Is that what it is? With
sour cream on top.
with what was the quote? The Chili Bowl. Jerry Jones said it's winning the Super Bowl is like the best glory hole that he's had, is what he said.
What?
Yeah, just look it up.
Jerry Jones a wild dude. I'm gonna close out with these comments, guys. Boom, 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 boom. I think preventing the defense, making subs, helps the run game a lot this week. But they move. Okay, bam, bam, bam. All right. They are talking here. Does KJ transfer if a team like South Carolina, LSU loses Daniels, Miami, if it's available? Possibility. We talked about that last week.
And
It's a
there's a talk. I
possibility.
mean, like, oh, would he go to Alabama? I mean,
Mm,
I think that
sorry for the
there'd be
face.
more likely if Arkansas won these 3 games, got bowl eligible, Guyton kept the job. I think KJ would come back, but it's one of those that I don't want to even. Let's just take it a game at a time.
Right, right, right. We're going too far. All right, basketball. Do you see an undefeated non-conference record? Nope. Logan, you're a Raiders fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. But y'all won today. Great win today.
Because they
Peace
fired
to you all.
McDaniels.
Good night. Right, I know, because he's trash, just like we did with Enos.
How does
To,
before we go? How does McDaniels keep getting hired as a head coach?
do you want me to tell it, or you want somebody to just keep assuming?
Feel free.
He's in the network.
Okay.
My daddy knows your daddy. Give my guy a shot. He was a good offensive coordinator. I give him credit for that. But I'm starting to realize all people know is about the Patriots, and I don't like the Patriots. It may have just been Tom Brady. I don't know if Belichick. Belichick, Daniels, Brady. Everywhere Brady goes, he wins. Even for the Bucks. And who thought that would happen? It may have just been Brady. I don't know. Peace out, Teresa. Have a great night. Get some sleep with this daylight savings. This is gonna mess up my life tomorrow at work. Good show, fellas. Appreciate it. Cheese, cheese. Y'all had a good game in Germany today. Um,
I wasn't gonna go there.
hell no, y'all gonna get us banned before we get going. White privilege. You said it, I did, and I just read it. McDaniel's worthless without Bill and Tom. All right, guys. That's all the comments. We greatly appreciate you guys. I didn't go for a sponsor tonight. Please believe in coming back Tuesday with a sponsor. And I'm going to ask you guys to drop some comments about who you would think to sponsor. People think it's crazy that I do that. Why just pull up something random to me and be like, we need a sponsor?
Hey, well, somebody in the comments or watching is gonna have some connection somewhere.
I'm just going to say, we're going to, between today and Tuesday, the people who not familiar with technology, find the add button. We're gonna say add, and we're gonna add somebody's name, and we're gonna make them a sponsor. We're gonna say, hey, we need sponsorship. This show is great. Anyhow, guys, good night. Peace and blessings to you all. Have a great work week. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. See us Tuesday to go on. We'll talk basketball, and we're talking about Arkansas going to Auburn in football. With that being said, we love y'all.
Peace.
Holla. Peace.